Hello everyone. In today's yoga myth video, I want to talk about an asana that everyone is going to know. I'm pretty sure, because it is known as downward dog. And yeah, if you don't know it, you put your hands and your feet firmly on the ground, the hips are going up, so you're building a shape like a mountain. And the reason I want to talk about it is because downward dog is actually something I did not learn as downward dog, but as parvatasan. Parvat is the mountain. And yeah, pretty much all my yoga gurus back in India were referring to it as that, as the mountain pose. And it wasn't until I started teaching in London that I heard that everyone called it downward dog. So a while later. Now, the reason I like the fact that I learned it as Parvatasan, and I'm not judging people who are calling it downward dog. There's yoga is so old and there's so many different lineages that I think there is no right or wrong many times, or most of the time. And yeah, so just my explanation of why I like Parvatasan is because Parvat, meaning the mountain, it seems to me to make a little bit more sense. The way we learned downward dog was with the head coming to the ground. Could be the crown of the head, could be the forehead, but it wasn't actually the head off the ground. So it's a completely different posture, actually. I mean, it has its similarities, but it is quite different. And Parvatasan makes more sense to me because you're trying to reach the hips up towards the ceiling. So that's the peak of your mountain. And there is actually a mountain in northern India called Hanuman's Peak, which has that little indentation. So it's like our tailbone. And that's supposed to be where Hanuman sort of stopped by. It was just one little, with less than a foot even, with one of his toes, when he was coming to bring the elixir of life back from the island of Lanka. So beyond that, you probably know the name Parvati, maybe from Harry Potter. It's not pronounced Parvati, no, it's Parvati. Or you might know the goddess Parvati. So this is all the area that we're in: name, goddess, and Parvat, that word for mountain. And I just, yeah, I like thinking just of the peak of that mountain more than we should think about how long the legs are going to get, how straight can we get the legs, because maybe back in the day, all the ancient yogis had no problems with straightening the legs all the way, but we have to accept that we have desk jobs, most of us, and that it's getting much harder for us to stretch the hamstrings if we spend 8-10 hours a day just sitting in that 90-degree angle of the legs. So rather than focusing on how long the hamstrings get and maybe focusing a little bit more on how long the arms get and how we're pushing the shoulders up and then it's lifting but pushing to the back as well, we should focus on reaching the tailbone high. And that is why I like Parvatasan a little bit more than downward dog. But I also appreciate we're all creatures of habit, and I learned this as a child, so I will not stop calling it Parvatasan. Every once in a while in classes, you'll probably hear me say downward dog to make it easier for other people to know what I'm talking about. But to me, it'll always be Parvatasan. Anyway, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed this. And yeah, stay tuned for more. Bye.